Hello everyone, the 316 here with my first Valaverse review. This time I have the Legend of the White Dragon 2-pack. Retails for about $59.99. I got mine from the Nerdzoic toy store, but you can get yours from Big Bad Toy Store. I think theirs is like 65, and direct from Valaverse, which is the retail price I just said. I decided to take the plastic insert out of the box here just so you can see that there is a backdrop here if you want to use it. You know, it's got blue on this side, it's got red on this side, and overall the box is pretty nice. I do wish that the Dragon Prime's helmet was on the other side because you do have kind of like a Marvel Legends style side art on the box. So there's Dragon Prime, and then there is the White Dragon. So this movie has yet to be released still. That's ridiculous. But there's a read-up of the general plot of the movie, and then some renders here of the action figures by themselves. So there's that. Boxes, it's a box. The box is, it's a box. So hopefully the movie gets released at some point. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's take a look at the figures, shall we? So, both figures are pretty much the exact same accessories-wise. They're just differently painted. So we'll go ahead and show off that they both come with two sets, or rather, they each come with a set of karate chop hands, one for each hand. And, as I said, one for each hand. They also come with a pair of fists, which are painted. All the hands are painted pretty well. And they both come with this like open hand. It's kind of like gesturing, I guess. They also come with a swappable gauntlet for their right arm, so that you can just have the standard gauntlet look, or you could have the energy blade look. They each come with a stand here that says Legend of the White Dragon on it. It's kind of hard to see, but pretty nice display stands. One in transparent red and one in transparent blue. I think I prefer the red one just because it's easier to read. And they do have two civilian head sculpts. So one for Jason David Frank and one for Aaron, the guy from Bat in the Sun. I think that they got his head sculpt perfect. This one, it looks like him definitely, but it's a little off. Also, I'm not sure if this is part of the movie or this is a production error. I'm pretty sure it's part of the movie, but does anyone else have this number painted on the side of his head? Let me know. Figures-wise, they're pretty good. Valaverse does the Action Force toy line, but this is like one of their first like subcategories. Like I only knew them from doing Action Force. Then they branched off to do this box set. I was really only interested in the White Dragon figure. There we go. Speaking of which, there's the White Dragon. I do think that they look good, both of these figures. They're the same figure, just painted a little differently. They call him the White Dragon, but he's kind of a gray color, like a Lego light gray color. Let me grab a Lego light gray brick so you can see what I mean. See, he's kind of like Lego light gray. Like, it's very, very close. Almost the exact same color. Lego is just slightly brighter, but just thought that was a bit funny. I do like the paintwork here. It's all pretty well done. It comes up against the lining on the torso here. Although they didn't paint like this side panel on either figure. It's just bare plastic. I'm not sure if that was a production thing or whatnot, but maybe they just ran out of budget. They also have these triangles painted on their legs, or their thighs rather. The boots here, I believe these are painted as well, but again, it's really well done. I really like the shoe. The shoe looks good. They really captured the detail on that shoe well. Just very good work there. So I really like this shoulder piece. It doesn't get in the way of articulation, and also there's these like bicep pieces here that actually don't get in the way of this because of how this is attached. This is attached with a little plug in the back there, and because of that, it actually, allows for this to, swivel or move underneath it. So I do like that. Some of the Lightning Collection ones, they're good, but it can get in the way of articulation. These ones, not so much. The gauntlet blade here is painted pretty well on White Dragon, not Dragon Prime. Looks good. You can kind of see some of the transparent blue plastic shining through on the underside of the gauntlet there. Also, I tried to get this hand on all the way, but it just does not want to go. So, not sure why that is. I would swap this gauntlet piece out, but I think I'm just going to display it like this. The head sculpt, the thing about the head sculpt is the visor here. The visor is very blocky. It's very strange. When I looked at the the promotional art of this particular costume, it didn't have that blocky texture to it. It's very strange. I do also feel that the helmet sculpts on these figures are a little big, a little large. I mean, just like they just look a little big compared to the rest of the body. But maybe they were trying to go for the human head looking like it could actually fit in there. Because, ooh, that was not supposed to happen. Parts just went flying everywhere. But you can kind of see that the head looks like it could actually fit in there. Like there's enough plastic that they could do that. Also, the helmet sculpts are molded in the flesh tones of the respective actors. So, interesting choice there on the molding. This is actually flesh tone. Anyway, here he is with the alternate helmet or head sculpt. And yeah, that looks a little bit better, more proportional. I don't mind that as much. Not too much to see here over on Dragon Prime, but we'll go ahead and take a look here. You notice that this is kind of warped a little bit. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's because of the articulation point up there kind of doing it, but both of my figures do have an issue on each of their arms. So it's his left arm and his right arm where you can see that the joint does not want to go up any further than that. On the other arm for each figure it's fine, but for these two arms, that's just a QC issue that I've noticed. I'm sure other people have noticed it too, but just something to know if you're planning on buying this set. Dragon Prime, he's got less paint, I feel, than White Dragon over here, because like he's got some gold highlights here, but here it's just like a gunmetal gray. And here's the helmet. I like the helmet the most of this. On camera it's coming out a little more black, but this is molded, or rather painted, in that gunmetal gray color. It's just, I wish there was like another color like this gold here, but I don't know why they aesthetically didn't do that. Like they could easily have added a brighter silver, and this would make that pop. One thing about the legs here that is a bit strange is that the middle point of the shin guard is not at the midpoint where the ankle is, and that ankle is not a separate joint. This is all one piece. So if you want to have your ankle in position with your knee here, it's going to be about right here, and the midpoint of that shin guard is towards the middle of the body rather than being straight. That is a bit strange. You can kind of fiddle it like that, but it just doesn't articulate as well or look as good. The natural resting place of these legs is about right there. And, again, he has a little issue standing, but it's not too bad. These figures look pretty good. I got no complaints with how they look, but I think what's more important with these is how they articulate. Before we get into that, here is Aaron's head on that body. Again, looks pretty good. Looks like the character, or rather the person playing the character, I should say. Articulation-wise, let's get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and use Dragon Prime here. So with the Alternate head, it is on the ball joint hinge like the Lightning Collection, so you got standard articulation there. And there is just a small amount of pivot on his head. On White Dragon, he's got a little bit of pivot, and he can look down pretty good, look up actually quite a good amount. I think his hair gets in the way of articulation, and of course you get the swivel there, of course. And then with the helmets on, I'm going to put the helmets back on. Helmet. Dragon Primes didn't want to go on. With their helmets on, since it's the same mold, can't really look down too far unless you push the helmet a little bit towards the back and then push it down. Looking up, actually a good amount of looking up. And then pivot, not too bad. And of course you got the swivel, but the chin kind of gets in the way of the shoulder piece here, so you might have to, articulate a little bit more. This kind of reminds me of a Psycho Ranger now that I'm looking at this design. Like the colors, the general feel. This reminds me of a Psycho Ranger. I didn't bring the Psycho Ranger down from my shelf though to do an size comparison, but oh well. One thing to note about the lower leg here is that the upper articulation is pretty good. It doesn't get in the way of the joint here, but I noticed on this bottom section on both figures, no matter which leg you do, you can kind of see that there's some stress being put on that part. You can mold it back into place, but that stress is still there, and over time you may have that piece starting to chip off or flay off. So that's something to note. They both can kick their own ass. There's just enough of articulation to do that. What I'm really impressed with is actually the drop down hinges here. Both figures have drop down hinges, but what's really cool about it, actually I'll use White Dragon for this since it's easier to see. What's really cool about it is just how much articulation you can get because of the way they cut out the thigh joint here. There's extra circular cutouts, kind of like in a four-leaf clover formation. So you get some pretty nice articulation on this leg piece. Like, you can get some really wild looking poses, and the leg can kick perfectly straight out. I do like that. I wish Marvel Legends did this type of drop down hinge. It's really well done. I got nothing bad to say about the drop down hinge. The upper body here is on a double ball jointed system, which I think most or a lot of collectors really like. For me, I still kind of like the hinge here and the ball joint up here from the Lightning Collection. But double ball joint, you can spin it around. It is definitely soft ratcheted. This one feels more hard ratcheted. Like, there's definitely like positions where this feels like it wants to lock into place, like each cardinal direction. The shoulders have some pretty nice butterfly joints, in all honesty. Like, that's pretty damn good. Like, I like this. Like, you don't see that too often. Yeah, really nice articulation on these figures. And can they touch their own shoulder? If I could get this other joint to bend. No, not really. They can't touch their own shoulder, but they can touch their shoulder pad, so there's that. Anyway, I'm going to stand these guys up without their stands so that we can do our size comparisons. Alright, White Drag. Since they're both the same figure, they're going to be the same height. So there's, no point in saying that, oh, he's this height and he's this height. They're the same exact figure, just one's painted differently. Alright. Dragon Prime is the one I have issues standing up. So both figures here stand at 6 1/4 to 6.5 inches tall, just depending on where you have the drop down hinges. Alright, so there's obviously no other figures for this particular movie out, as far as I know. So we're just going to do some Lightning Collection Power Rangers size comparisons. So I'm going to go ahead and put Dragon Prime in the back here, and we're going to take a look at Tommy's other forms. So of course the two that kind of inspired this look, I would say, is white and green Mighty Morphin. White dragon makes sense, and they're pretty much in scale with each other. I'd say that the white dragon figures are just a little taller, but I don't think that these look bad together at all. These look great. I have no complaints. These fit in perfectly with the Lightning Collection figures. All right, continuing on, we'll do in the suit order, I guess, or the show order rather. Here's Turbo Red. Oh wait, it's Zeo Red then Turbo Red. Damn it. Oh well, Turbo goes over there, and Zeo Red goes over there, and then Dino Thunder Black, and lastly, the only other suit that he wore, the Lord Draken suit. They never made Lord Draken Evo 3 in a suit form, as far as I know. So this is every suit that Jason David Frank has worn on screen in some capacity. Because, this one was in a trailer, which is awesome. It's too bad that never got made as an actual TV show. That would have done well. That would have saved the franchise, I think. But oh well, it's neither here nor there. And here is Dragon Prime next to all of them. Honestly, I kind of like how this one looks with the rest. He kind of breaks up that white color scheme. All the others here have a white color to them, whether that be on their suit, on their belt buckle, or their neck piece. This guy's just all black and silver, or gunmetal silver, rather. But yeah, really, really liking this. Glad to have, these two in the collection. Speaking of collection, let's go ahead and see how White Dragon and Dragon Prime look next to the, the usual suspects. Actually, before I do that, I am going to do one head swap. Lord Draken here. I'm going to take his helmet off, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Legend of the White Dragon Jason David Frank head sculpt on. So it is compatible with the the old hinge ball joints. I will say it looks great. Like the sizing of this head fits perfectly on these Lightning Collection figures. So, if this head sculpt is something you're interested in, I know the set's like what $70 after shipping and taxes, but if you want to buy this for the head sculpt, I don't think that this is a bad option for your Lightning Collection displays. It fits pretty good on there too. Not a bad head swap potential. Anyway, usual suspects now. We'll bring in Dino Thunder Black again because he's one of those usual suspects I have. And let's see, continuing on with our 6-inch scaled stuff, we got our Tiger Force Outback from G.I. Joe Classified. We have our Scarlet Spidey from Marvel Legends, the Star Wars Black Series retro card, Boba Fett. I'm going to fix the camera here, pull it back a little. Why aren't you looking forward? And now moving on to our 7-inch scaled stuff, starting with our wrestlers. We got AEW Unrivaled Samoa Joe, our WWE Mattel Elite 100 John Cena, the Jazzwares Halo Spartan Collection Spartan Yoroi, the McFarlane DC Multiverse Gold Label Arkham City Batman, and of course we have Atrocitus in the back there. I had to lower my camera for another video, but there you go. So I would absolutely recommend this 2-pack. It is a little expensive, maybe wait for a sale, but personally for me, I think that this is a great 2-pack. The articulation on these figures is good. I do have complaints with, both of their arms that are in the middle there not being able to fully straighten out, so they'll always have a little bit of a curve to them. The leg shins not being perfectly centered with the feet, that's kind of a weird choice. Personally, if they had a ankle swivel, I think that would have been fine. Wouldn't have been a big issue, but it just looks a little weird. The double ball jointed torso, I don't mind, but I'm not really liking how the cut on the waist joint looks. It just looks like they're wearing underwear, more so than McFarlane figures at that rate. And the back of the leg, as I showed you on Dragon Prime, stressing out if you bend it too far. Those are the only minor complaints I have. Uh, all the joints feel nice and tight. Nothing feels too loose or overly tight. I didn't have to use a hair dryer or to thicken up or loosen the pegs. I like the look of both of these figures. The head sculpts are fantastic, and yeah, I definitely think this is worth the money. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to or are going to, if it ever releases, see this movie. If you're picking up the 2-pack, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.